time to preview Tennessee and Memphis. Friday night, it'll be orange out at Thompson-Boling Arena, someone that will be on the Tennessee bench in his 11th season as an assistant coach in D1, also part of the Marquette staff that went to the Final Four in 2003, and a terrific player at Marquette as well. John Harris joins us here on the new Sentinel Sports page. Coach Harris, Vince Ferrara, and Mike Strange. Happy New Year to you, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, Coach. So orange out this weekend. It sounds like from what Coach Martin said, that was sort of the players going to you guys and say, hey, we want to get orange out and get everyone in orange at Thompson-Boling Arena this Friday for Memphis.
Yeah, the guys are excited about it. I mean, obviously, I don't want to say it's a big game. It's no bigger than any other. But at the same time, the guys enjoy being at home. We've drawn well to this point, and we'd love to see the crowd in orange come Friday.
John, in the game the other night against Xavier, Gimme McIngilla came off the bench and I thought really delivered a element of toughness for you. And all that he got done, and as long as he seemed like he was out there, when I looked at the box score the next day and saw he only played 9 minutes, I thought that was a typo. Is that right?
Yeah. It's amazing what, just competing at a high level will do for you. Like you said, I think we were all a little surprised that his minutes were what they are, but at the same time, he's putting a lot of work in. I mean, he's coming in doing a lot of things extra on his own, whether he's working on his game, he's watching a lot of film, and he's hungry, and I think you're seeing the results of the time that he's put in on the floor.
We're visiting with John Harris, Tennessee men's basketball assistant coach, Tennessee and Memphis, Friday night at Thompson-Boling Arena. Just sticking on Yemi for a quick second, that toughness, and I think Coach Martin referred to him sort of as an eraser back there. Is his presence and his tenaciousness in rebounding, is that something that you think also impacts the guards, the guys on the perimeter, knowing that there's a guy that's going to sell out for him on the back end behind him?
Oh, no question. I think he gives guys confidence on the floor. He really does. I mean, just knowing that you have a guy that's there to bail you out. Now, in your mind, you shouldn't need the help, but again, he's there when things do break down. He seems to always be in position. He's got a great knack and nose for the ball from a defensive standpoint. He's really throwing his body around, doing a great job on the glass on both ends of the floor, and guys like that bring a lot of energy. They raise the morale of a team.
John, Memphis, Tennessee has been a good series, a good rivalry. I can understand Josh Pastner's point of view that he's got nothing to gain by playing you guys because he didn't recruit Knoxville, and he'd just assume you all didn't have any kind of platform in Memphis. From Tennessee's standpoint, how helpful has this series been to have a presence in Memphis? Does it help, or is that overblown in recruiting?
I mean, again, those are decisions that, as an assistant, I don't make. I think it's a good game to play. I think that the guys, the athletes on both sides of the fence, so to speak, enjoy the game. But again, that's kind of definitely out of my hands. But as from what I've been told, it's out of Tennessee's hands as well.
Coach, I know you guys are putting in a lot of work with all of the guys, but talk about Jarnell Stokes right now and maybe getting some more productivity out of him.
Jarnell's just got to continue to work at his game. I mean, I think the results will follow when you put the time in, and he's a guy that's hungry. He's a guy that wants to have success. I think he's allowing himself to get a little frustrated at times in games, whether he's, not getting the results that he wants on the floor. He's got to find a way to stay level-headed. He can't get too high, can't get too low. But Jarnell Stokes is going to be fine. I mean, he's a competitive guy. Obviously, he's got an immense amount of talent, and he's going to be okay.
We got our first look at Derek Reese, and he, it wasn't any little cameo either. He came in and played 23 minutes and made a couple of big baskets. How do you see him helping this team going forward?
Derek will be a great addition for us, and I think, again, that was obvious in the first game the other night. And to be honest, he didn't shoot the ball the way he's capable of, but he's finding his way, and it's going to take him some time. It's not one of those deals where there's pressure on him to perform. He's a young guy. He's going to take his lumps and find his way, but the thing that he brings to the table is really just an IQ and an understanding of how to play the game. I mean, I think having a guy out there that can make a shot and handle the ball from the perimeter is kind of a matchup problem for the opponent, but at the same time for us, offensively, defensively, he just has a really good feel for how to play the game. Again, position, he's in the right place on both ends of the floor and makes sound decisions. And I think that's something that's undervalued.
Joined by Tennessee men's basketball assistant coach John Harris. Tennessee and Memphis Friday night at Thompson-Boling Arena. It'll be orange out for the Memphis Tigers coming in. Tennessee undefeated at home this season, 21-4 home record under Coach Martin and this current staff. Coach Trey Golden had that wrap on his shoulder. To me, it looked like he really wasn't penetrating towards the rim like he normally does. Wasn't as aggressive. How's he doing health-wise, and is that something you want to see from your guards more and getting to the basket?
Trey's fine. He really is, and he's going to be fine come Friday. The whole thing for us, as for our style of play, we've got to control the paint, so to speak, whether that's post touches, post scores, our guards penetrating, getting easy scores, kicking out for open shots, getting to the free throw line. That's kind of how our system is built, is to control the paint and points in the paint. So I guess to answer your question, yeah, we definitely want our guards penetrating, getting easy looks for our big guys. Like I said, open perimeter shots for our shooters, and again, finding ways to get fouled.
John, I was flipping around last night on TV, and I'll bet if anybody in Knoxville broke away from bowls to watch a little college basketball last night, it might have been you with Marquette and UConn. Did you see that in the overtime where the official got them lined up going the wrong way to start the overtime?
I did. That was something. It was a great game. It really was. I think, obviously, with Buzz being out at Marquette, I think that was a great win for those guys, even though they're at home. And obviously, UConn has done a great job. And it's a great time of year. Those are the kind of games, obviously, it's the first conference game for those guys. But stakes are definitely raised at this point in the year.
Coach, give us a scouting report on Memphis.
Obviously, very, very talented group. They're athletic. They love to fly up and down the floor. I think, and I don't have the scout. Let me start by saying that. But I think that Memphis is at their best in transition. They really get up and down the floor. Their guards do a great job pushing. They've got athletic wings and big guys. In two games last year, one obviously was a double overtime game. They managed to win points in the paint in both games. And we lost both of those games. So I'd say that'll be a key come Friday. But very balanced team. They've got good guards, got good big guys, and they're doing a good job sharing the ball right now.
A couple guys that didn't see action the other night when you guys are still trying to work the bench, and you relied on your bench an awful lot against Xavier. Didn't see DeMontre Edwards or Derek Chivas. Talk about those two guys, Quentin Chivas, and talk about those two guys and what they need to try to get back on the floor and get some minutes.
It's nothing major. It's really just buckling down, and the thing with Coach Martin, really game to game, he's going to play the guys that have performed well in practice, the guys that give Tennessee the best opportunity to win the game. And obviously those guys that came off the bench for us against Xavier were a huge part in us winning that game. I think those guys stepped to the plate and did some great things for us. Q and DeMontre both can help us, I think at times this year and in certain games. I think they just have to continue to work in practice and see how things play out.
You mentioned you didn't have the scout for this Memphis game. After Memphis, you guys will get into conference play. Are you still going to rotate sort of on a rotating basis on who gets scout during conference play and just sort of distribute that evenly throughout the assistant staff?
Oh, yeah, no question. We, for the most part, we'll go every third game. Obviously, in league, it's a little different just based on how the schedule falls. You might have every other or sometimes even a back-to-back. Let's say if I have Alabama, I was going to have Alabama both games, so just depending on how the schedule falls out. But they're pretty balanced. Each of us have 3 or 4 conference opponents. So
We're visiting with John Harris, Tennessee men's basketball assistant coach. Coach, we hear from the fans, and the fans, even though they came out, I thought did a great job in the Xavier game, and I think 18,000 plus in that game. But some of the fans point out, well, it's not very exciting, it's boring, Tennessee's not scoring, but you guys are getting wins, and you guys are D'ing up. What do you say to sort of that criticism of the style of play and the lack of offense for you guys and your team?
I think for us, at the end of the day, the goal is to win the game, and we don't get caught up in the score. We're probably still averaging 60-some points a game, and we've had our struggles in certain games. Obviously, there's talent on the roster. I think we have guys that can make shots, are capable of making shots, and have shown that. I think that's one of those things that's really up and down, and that's the sale of our staff led by Coach Martin. You're going to have stretches, and you're going to have games or stretches of games where shots don't fall. Now, how do you get a win? And I think our defense is really at a high level right now. Right about where we want. We can still get better in areas, but we're defending well enough to be in games, even when we struggle to shoot the ball. So, like I said, I think we got a team that's capable of scoring the ball, and I think we'll do that. But at the same time, for us, it's a defensive-first mentality, and at the end of the day, we just want to get a win.
You've been a part of teams that have made runs in the NCAA tournament, including when you were at Marquette in 2003. If you had to pick a style of play to have success in the NCAA tournament, and you had to be one type of team, offensive, defensive, or maybe even in between, what's the best style to have tournament success in your opinion?
Obviously, I don't know stats off the top of my head, but if you look at the teams that play well into March and even in that first weekend in April in the Final Four, those are the teams that defend at a high level. And obviously, they've got a level of talent. They've got some pros here and there, but those teams defend at a high clip. Primarily the teams that can't defend really don't advance in March. I think we're moving in the right direction. In that regard, and obviously our offense has got to continue to evolve as well. But if we don't defend, we're not going to win games.
Wear your orange Friday night at Thompson Bowling Arena as Tennessee takes on heated rival Memphis, and the coaching staff, the players, asking you to wear orange and be loud and proud for Tennessee against Memphis. Coach, Happy New Year once again. Thank you so much for the time, and good luck on Friday.
Appreciate the time. We'll look forward to seeing you guys Friday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Coach.
Take care.
You too. That is John Harris, Tennessee men's basketball assistant coach, joining us, talking Tennessee and Memphis.